Welcome to Deadhaus Whispers.
Greetings, everyone. I am Calypso, and welcome back to another episode of Deadhaus Whispers, live from Pink Floyd's The Wall behind me. Hope everyone's been doing well. Sorry about the delay for the past couple of weeks. Things have happened, but like always, I am joined by my other host, Faceless Mike.
Greetings, hello, and welcome. And I'm still setting up on the back end here because, as always, it wouldn't be a Deadhaus Whispers without tech issues, you know?
Yes, always a tech issue. It's our signature now. Come to watch our show for tech issues galore. But yes, so this is the finale of season 3 for the Chronicles of the Grand Inquisitor of Deadhaus Sonata. Yes. It's got the greatest title. The House Built on Hatred's Back is such a good title. And of course,
well, it is
oh, absolutely. In the end line, once again, I feel that
spoilers, by the way.
Okay,
it's been like 3 weeks, so you've no excuse. But
yeah,
just
exactly.
in case,
no
on the very, very small, minute chance that you're watching us, but you didn't watch the radio play, go check it out. The link will be in the description. Check that out first. But now, Calypso, go ahead.
Yes. So I feel like these radio plays are just setups for a really cool killer ending line. Because that's been the past few episodes. It's just, you have a really cool ending, and then it's just like it builds up to this baller ending or this really great line, piece of dialogue, something like that. That's what you get, though. You get that quality writing when you have Dennis and Jack involved for these plays. Yeah, it's so solid. I love the House Built on Hatred's Back title.
I think I can get us up here so we can get going.
There it is. So I will say right off the bat that this episode is I wouldn't say in TV and movie, it's called a bottle episode, where you have to, where it's an episode that all it is a bunch of previous episodes shoved into one as sort of a catcher up. Here's what you've missed so far. You could call them bottle intros for any time you see, previously on Mork and Mindy or whatever of the last couple of episodes.
Showing our age there, Calypso.
Yeah, right. Those are bottle intros and bottle episodes, vice versa, are when you take a bunch of other episodes on a TV show or a movie, shove it all together to have like a filler episode. It's filler, essentially. However, this is sort of a bottle episode ending, I would think, because Alaric is just catching everyone up on, here's everything that's happened so far within these chronicles, minus a couple of details that you'll have to go listen to other episodes to catch yourselves up on. All right, I think I'm done.
Okay, this is the TLDR of that being, this was a massive world-building project to begin the intro and to set the stage for Deadhaus Sonata. This episode is literally wrapping up the main components of the story, and I know there's been a few community members going, oh, but what about this, that, and the other? Yes, at the start of the game. We have not forgotten. When you think you'll see, you'll know. I just love how this goes through basically tapping out to absolutely everything. So, Calypso, I'm going to hit play on this. I think we should have closed captions on it. And you can go through with the brief description on this, and we can pause and go through the stories we're on, because this was a phenomenal wrap-up. And having to keep quiet about this for multiple years has been killing me. I'm just delighted I was able to share it with everyone now and be able to openly discuss it, because it's nothing I love more than discussing lore in the community. Now, here we go.
So we actually start with
7th of Califact, 224 years after Deadhaus. I have now long resided among the dead, many years lost in my studies.
So Alaric has been with Deadhaus for years now, and I'm going to get the dates wrong, but I believe the radio plays started in 222 or 220.
Oh, don't worry. Varric will correct you in the comments.
Varric will correct me in the comments, I'm sure. So now it's 224. So we followed Alaric basically for 3 or 4 years at this point. And now, even though it's 224 years after Deadhaus, he's been there for a long time.
3rd of Oct, in the year 218 after Deadhaus.
Essentially. Alaric gets most of his info from the lore stones. My notes are very abridged because I was pretty much following along with Alaric of the info he's sort of spilling out. So he gets most of his info from the lore stones, which is cool. Like going back and why wouldn't you want to watch a movie version of the Wikipedia entry that you essentially read on a giant stone tablet? Right. We have the awakened are hidden and then explode into a critical mass, and they overrun everything. I've claimed the lives of many mortals, and then we get into ties essentially. But I do like how Alaric expands kind of how the awakened operate. They are from within. Like any time an awakened infection or critical mass, as Alaric puts it, takes control, it always happens from within the society. We've seen that if you go back to season 1, where Alaric talks about being mentioned of like the red menace, or the something like that. The red
cult, the crimson cult.
The crimson cult. Thank you, the red menace. We're back in the 1950s.
Recognizing a communist, physical appearance counts for nothing. If he openly declares himself to be a communist, we take his word for it. If a person consistently reads and advocates the views expressed in a communist publication, he may be a communist.
So the Crimson Cult is something that's very briefly mentioned in the first season for like 2 seconds. And you, the listener, or literally comes back to haunt you. It comes from the
It's kind of like psychological guerrilla warfare.
Yeah, thank you. There. That's way better than anything I was going to ramble on about.
Again, the Emperor called me before him to speak of a crimson cult. This time, I was not panicked and could listen more carefully. Still, I did not share his concern over a single group of fanatics. Why waste time and resources over this when Deadhaus marches ever northward? The cult would be destroyed along with the rest of us if Deadhaus wasn't stopped. I assured him I would investigate the matter further, which seemed to placate him. But I have no such time to spare for lesser threats. I will assign another Inquisitor to investigate this cult. For now, there was more important work to be done.
Yes, psychological guerrilla warfare. And then it just strikes from within and eats itself alive, essentially, until we get, gross thing pustule monsters. And I do like how he explains, if you try to kill them, you cut one's head off, it'll turn into spider monster like the Thing or something.
And what they have as well is they mentioned that like this normally wasn't a thing before because Elsabeoth and his followers would like crush them. But because of an interaction with Deadhaus, that kind of messed up that plan.
Yeah. I blame Deadhaus for that one then. Do you think it's Deadhaus? Is it Deadhaus's fault that the Awakened have gotten as powerful as they have?
No.
Or is it
every house is clamoring for power. Control of the humans, their souls, their bodies, their tithes, whichever way, because everyone has different purposes for them. That's the ultimate goal for any of them, because human minds and human consciousness are what is of value to them, whether it's worship of Elsabeoth, whether it's to dream for the awakened, whether it's as tides for turning and fuel and spiritual purposes for the weaver. These are all different things, but it's in control of humans. Elsabeoth rose as the main power on Malorum, and everyone else wanted a piece. The awakened kept failing, but the Deadhaus was succeeding. And then it's like chess with 5 people. Just because one person takes the other pieces off the chessboard, the guys on the side can swoop in,
Yeah. While you were talking, this reminded me, I don't know why this popped in my head just now, but Dennis Diak's first game, I think, was Dark. Oh my God, of course I don't know the name of it right off the bat. Dark Fantasy something. And it was a god simulator almost strategy game. And the screen, I'll put this in post. The screen for it is an Alaric looking like character on the top.
Dark Legions.
Yes, Dark Legions, and it looks like
not the first, but one of the first.
Not the first, one of the first, and it has a very Deadhaus sort of feel to it in my brain. Obviously, just now, But I don't know why. Like the chessboard thing, I feel that's what like these eldritch gods see if they're looking down on Malorum, is that sort of Dark Legion's chessboard overland kind of map. In my, I don't know. Maybe I could just be crazy and this is what I want in my brain. I think it'd be cool if you could pause the game and you would get that as a menu. I think that'd be neat.
Dice work is all connected.
Yeah.
It's like a circle, Temujin. You know something?
Oh.
We'll have to see about getting Dennis on to confirm that.
Yeah, I think that'd be neat.
It's all connected.
Dennis,
Now
come
see
on,
Varric
sure,
at the wall with the strings, you know. It's all connected.
It's an Ouroboros of itself, and everything is connected. But you did mention tithes earlier. And tithes, I have it written here that Alaric has claimed many lives now at this point.
Yeah.
Tithes are what they call the dead. Alaric started with animals, of course, but he didn't like it. And each class or caste has different tithes. However, they are not free for the taking. You must earn them. So they're like a rewards, essentially.
A currency, Alaric, a reward, you know. When you do stuff for Deadhaus, it is rewarded.
And then they give you a tithe, right?
Yeah.
So it's like Alaric gave knowledge of the lands to help fight the Awakened, so he gets a blood tithe for vampires.
One must earn them. I have earned mine by imparting knowledge of the northern provinces, its geography and cities, its secret paths. This information helps in striking against the Awakened, another way to earn tithe. When a vampire claims a tithe, it is deemed a blood tithe, but vampires are not the only ones that need them. Ghouls claim them as flesh tithes. Banshees claim some number as soul tithes. Liches, too, claim soul tithes for their own multifarious purposes. Wraiths take tithes of torment. How ironic that I now discover what is perhaps the greatest weakness of Deadhaus. For a tithe claimed by one is useless to another, and so many of us need them, except for revenants, apparently. They don't seem to need or want anything but vengeance.
Get that not only did he give a lot of knowledge to Deadhaus about the kingdoms and all like that, he also reintroduced whites.
That's right.
How to create them.
That's right. Yes, that's right. He gave them the knowledge of the soul prism. No, the crucible. What's the soul prism from?
That was the soul prism. Is prism basically any of the ones? Remember from the pillars?
Okay, yeah. A tithe claimed by one is useless to another. So if Falk claims a flesh tithe, Bo cannot get that flesh tithe. If we're speaking in ghoul sense.
Yeah, but like think about it this way: if a ghoul eats the body, it's not like the vampire can drain it of blood. Then is it?
That too. Yeah. It's like it's a circle of giving and taking, and the ghoul gets a body, but then the vampire can't turn it or something, and then if the ghoul eats it, then they don't get the soul because the ghoul presumably consumes the soul as well.
When it's consumed, it's destroyed. It is given to whichever power they have. That great big ghoul frog monster thing that they seen when they were asleep.
Yeah.
I love.
I like that. I like that. Alaric says revenants get no tithes; they only want vengeance.
That's true, though.
I think that's great. Oh yeah. If the living were to vanish, most would vanish or turn into a bloodstone. Oh, okay. If all the living, if all of a sudden Deadhaus literally destroyed the world, eventually every single race would die out. Vampires would turn into bloodstones. Ghouls presumably would devour each other until there's nothing left, or there's one left, like the king ghoul, but then he would eventually
that's where everyone makes the mistake. When you listen to Alaric, when you listen to Nagasek, their goal isn't to destroy everything. Their goal is to maintain order, because they're the same as El Sabaoth. It's just they want their order, not someone else's, Revenants would still roam around.
English is hard. The Death's Heaven distribute the tithes.
Yes, and they're the only ones that can be trusted, because everyone else will get a bit greedy.
A sister of the Coven, a banshee, and she draws upon the deck of fates, aka there's a moment where Alaric is going to meet Kiva, and we get a great description of her sitting at the table before she distributes a task or a tithe or a reward or something. Alaric always sees Kiva or whichever banshee is there at the table talking to a hooded figure or a hooded thing, person. before they enter the thing, but then the moment they do, they disappear.
Mhm.
So are
You
they
know who that is.
communicating directly? Are they communicating directly with the Lalmot?
Oh yeah, you know that's who that is. Come on, I
Hmm.
thought that was a nice subtle hint.
See,
Not so
I
subtle,
I
but you know.
guess, but at the same time, maybe like the creepy cloaked figure is just another avatar of a Lalmot. So the hooded
Yeah,
figure
of
isn't
some
just an
type.
avatar of a Lalmot,
Yeah, well,
um,
something like that. They need to go
or
beyond the
something.
veil.
Yeah.
Mike, what would happen if a vampire ate another vampire's blood gem? I don't think they can eat it, but yeah, there's nothing to say you can't have a vampire walking around with a few soul gems around his own necklace or have them smashed up so they can't return and all like that. That's one of those instant death scenarios, I'd imagine. Not at
Are we
all. The
talking about the
vampires,
faceless court?
yeah, the vampires of the Faceless Court are masters of illusion, and one of its faceless courtiers resides in this illusory hall to lend his skill to any who wish to alter their appearance. One needs but to visit the faceless courtier with a wave of his hand. One may appear in the most luxurious fashion. Glamour, he calls it. I have a little use of that myself, because you gotta love Alaric. Like, yeah, I don't care. I just love again that these are all little hints that not just lore in regarding to what way the world works and the background works and how Deadhaus is set up, but there's little hints and gleams of what you can expect as the game will progress later on. And now, Calypso, I cut you off before because we were originally
Oh,
talking.
that's fine. My internet cut me off completely.
Go on.
So, well, excellent reading there, my friend.
Mhm.
And I do like the Faceless Court. I was just going to talk about how I like that Amarax and Alaric sort of have a friendship now, because
Mm.
even though Amarax doesn't like scripting the weapons, he's like, "Oh, I'm angry." When he's doing it for Alaric, he's just fine. He's like, "Okay," he's less testy.
Here you
If,
go.
yeah, he's less testy.
Mm.
I do love the Faceless Court. I love that that throughout this whole radio drama thing, you get hints of possible gameplay mechanics for Deadhaus,
Mm.
and obviously the Faceless Court is one of them. You could go in there and change your appearance in game or something, possibly. I think that's really neat.
I'm looking
Um,
forward to later on, once the game is released. Won't be too much longer now. But once the game is released and people are able to play it and experience it all, and then they go back and listen through the radio plays and all like that, is there anything that they will pick up on that we didn't the first time, that maybe they didn't realize was directly related to not just in-game lore, but mechanics or other little Easter eggs and all like that they'll discover later?
Yeah, I think that's really cool. I do love that you can go back and, oh, it was right there all along.
You're
I
staring
think
us right in the face. That's one of
mm-hmm.
my favorite things that happens with gaming.
Combat training. We do learn that. Did we talk about combat training? How the dance
Yes.
macabre is
No, but
Alaric's
you can
fighting
go
style.
through your notes. I just basically read over the fact that there was the Drummond Roth. He was the Revenant. He stands at the bottom of the pit of the busted sand and trains them.
Yeah, I do like that there's a training Revenant, and I do love that in most games where you have like a fighting tutorial or something, how it's, oh, I'm going to go easy on you or whatever. I hope that if we can play training against Drummond Roth, against this Revenant, that he's like a boss character. It's just training. You won't lose or anything, but have it be like one of the hardest enemies to actually defeat, so you can sort of train your skills and as a player get better as a player with combat and stuff. I think that'd be sick.
That'd
Doing
be really
the
cool.
carry my move 3 times in a row is just fine. Whatever, I get it, but give me a really tough boss character like Sephiroth Kingdom Hearts style difficult.
Do the basic settings and then have one at the bottom which is called free fight, and it just goes all out, and it's like an actual boss fight against an actual Revenant.
Yeah, exactly. Give me that. Give me that. And then you could even trade this out for any other class. Like, oh, you want to fight against a god version of a Lich, or fight against Amarax in training, right? You can do that, and he's like a boss Lich character. So you learn what their moves are, like on the other side of the spectrum. So when you play that character, eventually, or play a Lich character, you know, oh, you can do this, you can do that, because the boss character is doing all that stuff.
There's Rostad.
Oh yes, there's Rostad. I have that too. Alaric talks about Rostad, and we learn how vampires are sired. Rostad doesn't know about Anumant yet. After turning Rostad, Alaric felt less painful and the blood calmed down. But we learned that in order to subside the pain that vampires go through, that burning sensation, that they need to pass the curse on, because that's what it wants you to do. It wants to spread and infect.
Literally, a problem shared is a problem halved.
Yeah. And I like that we learn if you drain a person, if you start turning a person into a vampire before they're completely almost bloodless, almost at the very point of death, then they'll just explode and die. Like, it will fail. So you need to basically kill them to turn them into a vampire in order for it to sire them properly.
I keep thinking
You
of
know.
that moment in the movie Blade where you stick the thing in your man and it just all
Yes.
like,
Yeah. Oh, gross. Yeah. I watched Blade a couple of weeks ago. Funny enough, it's such a good movie.
There are always some with sinister intentions. But as a whole, I have found the house built on hatred's back to be one whose doors are open.
And then Alaric teaches them how to make whites, and the crucible, and we get build a white, which is great.
So changed things are, yet so much the same. Alaric the Damned as Alaric von Bella, whether dead or alive, a piece on the board, to be moved by one hand or another. And maybe one day, to be moved by himself. Alaric the Damned, Grand Inquisitor of Deadhaus.
Just
full circle. Yes.
Yeah, full circle. It's great. I listened to this last night again before this. Immediately after ending this, I turned on the very first episode, and it just, it's like, I know it might have been planned from the beginning or whatever, but it flows so well, dude.
Yeah.
From the very last few lines to the very first lines of the radio drama where he's talking about vampires and everything is just, it's peak. It's cinema,
I've waited so long for this to be finished to be able to discuss things with the community. So anyone wants to talk, you hit me up in the Discord, because I love chatting about this. How even at the very beginning, we were all speculating what was going to happen to Alaric. Will he join Deadhaus? If he is, how? Will he be a revenant? Will he be a lich? All the discussion for years over this. And I've had to sit quiet and like bite my tongue knowing where this is going. And I just want to know, it's like, which of you guys got it right, who got it wrong, and why? Because I love discussing that. Why do you think he should have went this way or that way or the other? I love discussing how the lore is and how it went. And for the people that got it right, why? Why did you get it right? What clued you in that this was going to be the way the story went? Because I love how it all flows. Like, we start literally Alaric von Bella, Grand Inquisitor of the Facian Empire, and we end Alaric the Damned, Grand Inquisitor of Deadhaus. Nothing has changed, but everything has changed. It is still Alaric with a single-minded determination to defend and avenge Thacia, just from the complete opposite side of the coin.
Yeah, I do love that.
By people that know how to not write themselves into a corner.
Yes.
You're reading off your notes about the next one after Rostad.
Oh, right. Rostad, vampire transformations, learning how to make the whites. I was thinking of Alaric's childhood for some reason.
Yeah.
But I can't remember. Oh yeah, is it Rostad? Rostad is the grandson of the one who saved Alaric as a child.
Yes, that's why he says it. He said when he talked about this, and he said in the Gaztak, I'll vouch for him. I owe his grandfather a great debt.
All right.
Because he is literally the one that saved Alaric and brought him to Thacia. Because that was the weird time. Again, this is where the politics of the whole thing gets really complicated and weird, because at that time there was Beller, which was part of the Beltlands, and there was Thacia versus a few other areas that were fighting back and forth for control over what would have been at that point the remnants of Eustilia.
Whether it be through radio dramas or not.
I
think radio dramas would be fine though too. And I know I'm asking for a lot because I always do. I would love to see a prequel series where we obviously explore the origins of the Gaztak already, but I would love to see that played out completely in a radio drama, like hour and a half radio drama movie. I would love to see a prequel of just the origins and like the founding and when Deadhaus first started, where it became a threat, all that kind of stuff. Like the wars that Alaric, I would like to see, young Alaric when he is a kid and
Ah,
everything, and like that whole conflict. Give me all of
the
that,
young
dude. Give
adventures
me
of
all of that.
Alaric and the beginnings of Deadhaus. Well, I'm sure you'll see a lot of this in the game.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
not
but
necessarily the younger Alaric, although that could be interesting as a chronicle later. So
yeah,
Temujin, the talkative Alaric also didn't seem like a good match with a wraith. So vampire it is, was my reasoning. And what was this? Full AI Alaric, the damn movie when? If anyone ever gets the time, because that's a heck of a writing. We put
yeah,
that back here. And what was
yeah. That's a
this?
lot.
I think this is for Rostad. Temujin said, didn't meet the requirements to be. Oh, this is about Alaric when I was saying that. Didn't meet the requirements to be a literal revenant. Oh, yeah, this is Rostad. A blind ghoul didn't seem right. He couldn't become a white and still be himself. Banshee was also out of the question. Ghouls are blind, though,
Yeah.
functionally. They don't see with
Yeah.
their eyes. They're like snakes. Their eyesight is gone, but snakes can see, but very badly. But snakes like smell, they see with their nose, and
And
they
their tongue.
hear
Their
and
tongue is
taste with their
also
tongue. Yeah,
a what's it called? An indicator.
it's kind of weird. They see with their nose and they smell with their tongue, if that
Yeah,
makes
it's
sense to
strange.
people.
It's weird. I think Nagazdak even points out, "Oh, why don't you become a ghoul? You already lost your eyesight." He points that
Mhm.
out.
Alec's like,
But
no,
okay, am
no,
I
no,
crazy
no.
in thinking? Oh yeah, no, yeah, oh yeah, Aller. No. Um, am I crazy, or does Rostad gain his eyesight back because now that he is a vampire, can't he just mist and regrow eyeballs because he lost them, or because he had
Let
no
me
eyes when he was turned, he's eyeless forever?
let me bring that up here because I think that was fairly obvious in this. A lot of
Is
people
he
didn't pay
eyeless?
attention. Yes.
Oh, he's still eyeless. Damn. Well, blind vampire with with the blind samurai warrior kind of thing. That's cool too.
Hmm.
So yeah, blind vampire warrior must be badass. Oh, dude, imagine a bunch of human soldiers. They're like, oh, it's just one vampire. We can take him. He lost his eyes,
What was
dude.
the what was it? Uh, what was the name of that? The blind swordsman one?
Zatoichi,
Zatoichi. Satoshi?
the blind swordsman, Zatoichi.
Zatoichi, Zatoichi. I can't pronounce that, but yes,
Yeah.
that's very much the whole. That's a
Yes.
really cool ideal because it works better for a vampire as well. Because if you think of the idea that, like, the blind swordsman who relies on, taste and hearing and all of this kind of
Yeah.
stuff, but for a vampire, all of that's like ramped up to 11.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like
So
super smell, super hearing, and now that he's eyeless, probably like super every other sense.
especially if
I
you're
would.
fighting the living, it can hear every heartbeat around it. Like
Yeah. Oh
you can't even
yeah.
go shh and hide. Like it'll hear your heartbeat because it's a vampire.
Oh, I'm sure Alaric could close his eyes and fight
Mm.
blind if he wanted to.
Alaric becoming a ghoul seems too big of a change for the character. Alaric, at least that's how I felt. Yeah, ramp up to 10, more like 90, 11. Well, yeah,
Yeah.
I think 10 missed the joke. It's a Spinal Tap reference, everyone.
Yes. 11, 11, 11,
But
11.
this one
Spinal
goes up
Tap
to
2 is
11.
out. There's
I
a Spinal
know.
Tap sequel. I haven't
I
seen it. I
know.
want to see it. I want to see it. It looks
I
so
I
fucking
do and
stupid,
I
dude.
do and I don't. I'm afraid
Yeah.
to watch
Yeah.
it. I'm afraid to watch it because I don't want it to be. I don't want to say bad because Spinal Tap is bad. That's kind of the point. But you know
Yeah.
what I mean.
Yeah. I know what you
I
mean. I
don't. I
think
don't want it to be crap. I'm afraid of it being
I
crap.
would. I don't know if it's the same because I think didn't if Rob Reiner is still alive, did he actually have any involvement in Spinal Tap 2? I wonder. I would check, but I have no internet right now on my
Hmm.
computer. But yeah, I don't know how we got talking about Spinal Tap 2.
To 11.
Oh,
It
211.
goes
Yeah,
up to 11. Why don't you make 10 louder then? Yeah, but you don't get it. This one goes up to 11.
it goes to
That's
11.
one louder.
I think Alaric being a vampire works because if he were any other race or species or class, he wouldn't be a chronicler. It's really that simple.
Well, the other part is it was kind of a dead giveaway the minute like we went through all of this and then he ended up with some sample of a vampire blood.
Yeah,
It was
I like
clearly obvious that was
that's
eventually
heavy.
going.
That's the heaviest bit of foreshadowing I think I've ever experienced in a medium in a long time.
Regarding bad sequels, I always loved the book The Running Man by Stephen King, and Arnold movie was horrible. Yes. Next month, the remake of The Running Man will be
We're not
released.
gonna blaspheme Running Man. How dare you?
Oh, don't get me started. I've spent a
Running
long
Man is
time.
a classic Arnold movie.
Look,
Never
we've
read the book.
spent. I'll give you one when we're talking about bad sequels or remakes and stuff like that. I'm just delighted The Crow failed so hard because that was sacrilege. But the real travesty was, and I'm glad Anne Rice is dead and doesn't have to see any of this. I recently finally got to watch the TV show remake of Interview with a Vampire.
Yeah, what do you think so far? I've watched like 5
Wow,
episodes, I think.
it's appalling, but not for the way people think. Now, hear me out. If they created this exact story and said that this was set in the world of darkness of Anne Rice, it would be amazing. It's a good story. It's not Louis and Lestat, though. It's not Interview with a Vampire. It's its own cool story, but it has nothing to do with it. Like, they changed absolutely everything. The characters bear no resemblance to their personalities, their traits, their actions, like nothing. It's absolutely appalling. If they'd just said that this is a vampire thing set in Anne Rice's Vampire Chronicles, I'd be like, yeah, excellent. It's really cool, especially for the time period. They go really authentic for the time period where
Oh
it's set,
yeah, I
set in
think the
like
time period setting is great.
1910 in New
Yeah.
Orleans, and like it shows like the real racism that happened, all, which is really like cool and interesting, and how like all of this worked. That's got nothing to do with the story, like that it was set
No,
way
they gloss
earlier.
over that in
The
the book, if I'm not
characters was
mistaken.
interesting because I was curious what way they were going to go about Anne Rice and like Louis. I'm like, okay, they made Louis a black guy. Okay, where are we going to go with this? How are we going to make a black guy a plantation owner? That's going to be interesting. No, they made him a pimp.
Yeah, I think the changes sort of work a little bit.
It would
I
be
think it
cool
kind of
if
works.
no, if they didn't call them Louis and Lestat, and they just had like these were brand new characters that were vampires and all like that. It's an amazing story. It's well written. This
Yeah.
very much stinks to me that someone came to Netflix with this cool story and they're like, cool, we're going to make this into Interview with a Vampire. They're like, you know, but this is actually meant to be this other story. It's like, no. We're just going to change the name of the characters. We're going to move a few things and we're going to do it like this. Because this really feels like it was an entirely different story.
Yeah.
You know? Like
I think
part of Louis' depression is the fact that he doesn't have any family. And in this, like,
and they give him a
he's
whole
loads.
family. Yeah.
Yeah. Like you know?
Yeah. I think the only thing I know is that Anne Rice signed off on a lot of it before she died. I don't know if she got to see the final product though before she died.
I think Anne Rice
I've
is at that point
heard
when she was that old, she just like whatever, give me the paycheck, like something else.
maybe.
Because don't
I've
forget,
heard,
she didn't like the idea of the first Interview with a Vampire movie, and when they announced that they
but
cast Tom
yeah,
Cruise,
but
she
keep in
said
mind
this is the worst decision that they'd ever
that's
made,
true.
and didn't watch
That's
it
true.
for years. And then one time something happened; it was on television, and she was convinced to sit down and watch it. And after watching it, she said she couldn't imagine anyone else playing Lestat; that he'd done it amazingly. So
Yeah.
you know.
I think season 2, I don't know. I haven't got there yet. I don't know if I will, but I heard once they get to the Theater of the Vampires in the series and they introduce Armand and that whole thing, pretty much the ending of the book is when it gets better. And then I guess for season 3, they're going to do Lestat's origin, but also try to weave in Queen of the Damned, which is weird. Like,
Why?
just please focus on one or the other.
Why? I wouldn't mind. The books are long enough. You could do a whole 5 series thing on just Interview with a Vampire before you get to the
Yes, you
Vampire of
could,
the
but
Sky,
they
the
they
Vampire
took too
Mon,
long.
Memnock the Devil, any of the other ones, even
See, I
stretching as
don't.
far as they could have made
I
Vittorio the Vampire if they wanted, but no, they didn't bother.
Yeah, I think they should. If they're gonna do this series, I think they need to end with Queen of the Damned, and then just don't do any more. Please don't, because I don't trust 2026 writers to do justice to Memnock the Devil. Like you have
None of them
Lestat
do.
literally going through Dante's Inferno, essentially
Yep.
talking to the actual devil himself, and exploring and talking to the devil and talking to Jesus and all this deep philosophical religious talk, which I think was Anne Rice's way of exploring religion and turning Catholic and becoming religious in any way,
Kind of. She was
and
what you call agnostic.
something
She
like that.
was
Yeah,
Catholic sympathetic because her husband was
yeah,
Catholic, but he died a good few years ago and all like that, and she
yeah.
never kind of got
So
over that.
I think Memnock's one of my favorite books because it deals with all that subject matter and she's a great writer, so she manages to handle all that philosophy well, but I don't trust TV writers today to handle deep fucking philosophical religious subtext
Here, okay, look,
in any way whatsoever.
I'm just gonna say this. I'll get flayed for this, but I don't think anyone will watch this if it watches that's deep into their literature. But I'll just put it out there now. For the past 15 years, not a single bloody writer has ever been able to commit to television in any fashion, whether it be cinema or the silver screen and television, the correct and accurate way of portraying a book. Every single writer now believes that they are smarter, better, and superior than the subject matter that they are being paid to create,
Yeah,
aka The Witcher, aka The Rings of Power, aka Interview with a Vampire, aka The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. All of these things, they believe that I'm going to take this thing. Now, keep in mind, the only reason this thing was even commissioned and they're getting a paycheck in the first place is purely because said thing is popular. But they're like,
yeah,
yeah, but I can fix it and make it better. And not once has anyone ever fixed it, because the reason it was popular is it was good enough in the first place. All you needed to do was take the words off a page and put them onto a screen. But whether it be showrunners, terrible writers that either hate the source material, self-insert, or have some type of magical narcissistic moment where they believe that they are superior to the writer that they're getting paid to copy, and they ruin it. Not one has ever been successful. Past 15 years, not a single one. And everyone keeps losing hundreds of millions of dollars on this, and they continue to lose hundreds of millions of dollars on this. And it'll be a complete revelation when someone comes along as a writer and go, hey, let's just take this and put it on the screen, and they'll make millions. And everyone like, oh, how did you figure out how to do that? Just do your bloody job. Your job isn't to edit. Your job isn't to rewrite history. Your job isn't to take someone else's work and completely bastardize it until it's not even recognizable as the same work of art anymore. You take it from one medium and transfer it to another. It's not that difficult. They've been doing it for nearly 100 years before you were born. But
yeah,
somehow now it's just destroyed. It's nearly to the point where I think it's intentional. It's some type of money laundering scheme that's
oh,
intentionally trying to
absolutely.
destroy artwork.
Yeah, I think
There.
so.
Rant
There's,
over. Sorry.
I think, well, to continue with that rant a little bit on
Yep.
my end.
Go for it.
It's a great show. I vouch for this show. It's fantastic. Given our, and not to get political at all, but given our current
Yeah.
political climate, it's sort of weirdly relevant today.
Which one?
It's called A Day of the Jackal.
Oh, haven't watched it.
It's
We'll put it on
it's
the
on
list.
Peacock. Yeah, it's on Peacock to watch. It's got Eddie Redmayne, so it's got a pretty solid cast, but it's based on a book from the 1960s, which was in turn based on a real historical event, right?
Hmm.
Involving political things. I don't want to say
Was
any of
there
that
a
stuff.
movie
Yeah.
about this in the 80s or something as well? Was
Yes.
this? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I thought this sounded familiar.
There's a
80s or
movie.
90s.
Yeah, there's a movie. I think it's been adapted 3 times.
Hmm.
There's a movie from the 70s, a movie from the 90s, and then the TV show today. '70s movie is like a direct adaptation of the book, like soullessly almost, which is just fine. The '90s movie veers off completely to where the author himself was like, change the title because it's nothing like my book.
Mm.
And then the TV series is close to the book, but also expands upon it because the author was like, well, I'm still alive. Let me help with the show. So they actually got the author to help with the show, which is also great. But the show starts with the ending of the book in a different sort of way, and then it continues from there.
Mm.
And takes certain elements from the book. But it's a great thing. It's how I would say you adapt a novel while getting approval from the author, who's also a consultant on the show. It's the only way to really do it.
But I think it's funny because, like, just going back to The Witcher, because it's a personal love of mine and it's a fantastic pet peeve. They're like, "Oh, we talked to Sapkowski and he agreed with everything." Watch the interviews with Sapkowski in Polish. Watch the Polish ones. He turns around and says, "Yeah, I was invited to the set and I told them that they should change a few things and they didn't listen to me, so I just left."
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
if you're not listening to the man, it's very clear you don't care. Although that
Yeah.
show was famous for the fact that one of the writers who left leaked that the other writers actually derided and hated the source material. So,
I think
that's
isn't there an interview where they said they actively hate the books or something?
that was an
That
interview
got
with a writer
published?
who like jumped ship. He said they actually hated it and all sorts of
Yeah.
stuff. And again,
And I
like, this is
think
fantastic. These people believe that their writing is so superior. If your writing was superior, how come no one ever gave you an acting job or a job to write your own original property? That's the other one. I hate the fact that this corporate thing now just wants to resurrect pre-established properties and IP to have a guaranteed baked-in audience and then ruin it. Like, if
oh
you're
yeah.
going to ruin stuff, make up your own IP. Go ruin something else, because you want to know something? As much as people hate on it, I'll give you a fantastic nugget that I love. Do you remember the failure that Concord was?
Yes.
At least they came up with an original idea to ruin. They didn't pull some other IP and completely destroy it. They came up with their own original one, which is the one little kudos I will give them. You tried to
Yes.
be
But
original. You failed,
to be
but at least
fair,
you tried something original.
to be fair, they tried something original, but they were also trying to chase the success of already established things.
Oh yeah, no, they made a
You
million
know?
other mistakes. For example, you are not going to make a worse version of a paid game when the more successful one is free to play.
Yeah.
You're not
Yeah.
winning that argument. You are
Yeah.
like that. And then there was loads of other bad business decisions and
Yeah.
all. I'm
Yeah.
sure I don't even know a fraction of what must have went on behind the scenes. But what I wanted to praise them for was at least they tried an original IP, because I'm sick and tired of like all of these things that have been successful for the past 80 years, going all the way from Doctor Who to Scooby-Doo to The Witcher to everything that's just being brought in purely for the benefit of destroying it.
Oh yeah. I think what is it? I think about adaptions. The funny thing about adaptions is that if you read the chapter,
Yep.
it's basically a script already. It's just not in script form.
Hmm.
You have the descriptions of the locations. You have the actions that are basically cut to man jumping off bridge, fade in, whatever, whatever, whatever. That's all in a book. Only it's descriptive of the curtains were blue and they hung on the wall breezily or whatever the hell, right? Gaston shouted angrily, blah, 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 line of dialogue.
Do you
It's
wanna,
it's really not that difficult to adapt a book
do you
because
wanna,
it's already there. You just have to turn it into a script. I did this shit in college. That's what I majored in freaking school,
Calypso,
man.
do
And
you want to know a funny side to that?
yeah,
Do you know that Clive Barker writes his novels like screenplays? They read
yes.
like a screenplay, and people still mess them up.
I think that's why, like, yeah, yeah, it's just,
That's this. But look at this superior abomination AI. I mean, I have created. That's the other one. Instead of just using AI, because AI has numerous multiple positive uses, right? It's a tool like anything else. It can be used for positive or negative. You could use that to do some great work, but I've seen a lot of people trying to pass off their own books screenplays and stuff like that, where you can clearly
Dude,
see it's AI, and they try to tidy it up a little.
oh
It's like,
no, you can go to
if you're
Amazon.
gonna do,
So
if you're going to do an
Amazon
AI
has a
script,
book.
just call it that. Just call it an
Oh yeah,
AI script. No one cares.
Amazon has a special book thing now, right? Where you can become an indie. Like I could write a book and publish it,
Self-publish.
right?
Yeah, self-publish.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I could write a book and publish it through Amazon, and they will print a physical copy for me,
yeah,
even though it's really sloppily done, and then ship it to you if you want a physical copy, right?
yeah. And they'll sell it on the store, and
The
it's kind of like print as sold kind of a thing. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. And like what's the flood, you can do seriously go to Amazon and look up the digital book things or whatever.
Mhm.
There's so many books published like either the same day or the same hour with roughly the same looking cover because it's all AI generated. AI generated cover, AI generated book that's like 200 to 300 pages or whatever. It's all that romanticy, uh, bodice ripper kind of like
Mhm.
girl novel stuff, right? It's
Yeah.
horrendous that the moment this became a thing, Amazon is now flooded and there's no going back. I could publish a book and it'll be actually maybe a great book or something and put it on Amazon. Nobody's going to read it because they're going to think it's AI slop, like
It's
AI
yeah,
generated written slop.
it's gotten to that point now where it's like Steam.
Oh
Like
yeah, Steam is another. Dave
you have to
needs to clean
very
house for sure.
curate what you see on Steam, because again, the vast majority of it is shovelware slop. Because
Yeah,
this is what happens. Now you're just seeing the literary version, you know?
hurts my soul. Hurts my soul.
But that's what it is, and like as we rewind back to that, I don't know how a lot of these people get these jobs, and somehow magically, it was something. Who was it that used to joke about
Oh,
that?
dude, it's all their
Kevin
parents,
Smith.
man.
It was Kevin Smith used to make jokes about that, because in Hollywood apparently you could just fail upward. You know, this guy started off as like Barbara Streisand's hairdresser, and now he's making movies because that's how that happens apparently.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. I
there
think,
you go. Yes, very true. At least Deadhaus has amazing writing.
yes, yeah,
I love
yeah, and
AI
it's
ethical
actually it's
use, like
writers.
here. Yes.
Yes, like if you're gonna, it's weird, man. If you go and look up all the credits for all these writers,
Hmm.
for shows now, I guarantee you, someone in their family was already within the industry in like makeup or maybe a producer or something,
Oh, you
something
mean
like
the
that.
fact that the vast majority of them are nepo babies, like
Yeah, something like that. Even
a
like the
particular Billie
writers.
Eilish, who we pretend's mother isn't already very mega famous in Hollywood by being a voice actor, and
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like, are all the actors who you think are up and comers and like struggled their way up? No, their parents were already in the industry somehow. Like,
Jamie Lee
gosh,
Curtis.
Jamie Lee Curtis. Yes, thank you. She's a prime example. She's a prime example.
She's the best example if you want to do that, and showing that how long it goes back. And she wasn't the first. She wasn't even like within the
Oh yeah,
first
no,
like
absolutely
5
not.
generations. But the fact that
Yeah,
she is that old now, but she was a prime example of it.
yeah.
You know?
I don't know. There's a weird thing about writing. There's a great. I'll put a clip of it in this episode. But there's a great video about from some YouTuber that's writers can't write anymore. That's
Hmm.
because they're all either they're our age or younger or a little older, but they've never known what struggle really is. They've never known what it's like to be homeless. They've never known what it's like to, live off a cup of ramen for weeks on end. Like there's nothing in their brain that makes them understand what true struggle is,
It's
so when
because
they
no one
write,
puts
they
in
don't understand what any of that is. So it comes off as incredibly hollow and shallow.
It's because no one puts in like the long-term work anymore, because this thing, and it started in America, but it's not a uniquely American thing. It has spread across the world, the whole idea of the hustle culture and the grind and all like that. So the idea is take the shortest cut possible to get to the end result.
Yeah.
When you do that, as you said, they've never suffered, they've never experienced, they've never crafted work. I'll give you an example, right? Right now, coming out shortly, it's going to be in the cinemas and it's going on to Netflix. I think it looks absolutely stunning. Is Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein,
Yes,
right?
I'm going to see that
Looks
in theaters whenever
beautiful.
they drop it.
Now, he has been sitting on this for 30 years.
Oh,
He's
yep. I'm
been
still waiting
wanting
for
to
his
get
Mountains of
this
Madness,
made.
man.
Yeah,
Mountains of
he's been
Madness.
wanting to bring this to fruition for 30 years. And he's rich and famous. So, like, theoretically, he could have clicked his fingers and had that made 10, 20 years ago, but it wouldn't have been right. He had to work at it and wait until he had it right. And then the time was right with technology, with the makeup scripts, and then getting the right cast of the right everything to get all the chips to fall into the right places to make it happen. Because he could have bum rushed it years ago, but it would have been terrible. And now we're going to have a fantastic, probably the first time in a long, long time where someone has done like a remake of the classics, that it will be superior to the one that came before it. Because I don't acknowledge any of the rest of them except for Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. Remember, with De Niro and stuff in it?
Yep.
That
That's
one,
a good one.
to me, that was the last Frankenstein. And this one,
Yeah.
I'm hopeful, but it seems like this might actually be better. Because like no one has come along and beaten Francis Ford Coppola's Dracula. Like no one
Oh
has
yeah, no,
beaten
you
that and
can't.
all like
You
that.
can't really top that. You can't really
Yeah,
top that. Like
but
I love Dracula.
this
I love a
this
billion
might
Dracula movies.
yeah,
Yeah,
this might top Frankenstein. And I'm
maybe.
excited
I
by
mean,
that idea.
if anything, visually, it will be a stunner, and
Hmm.
visually, no one will be able to top it. You know,
But let
I
me put it to
think
you this way. I even went in watching his romantic fantasy one, Crimson Peak.
I still need
Did
to see
not
that. It's on my
did
list.
not
I
like
still need to see that.
wasn't a fan of the story at all, but the movie was stunning.
Oh
Everything,
yeah,
anytime Del Toro does something, it is
I think what did he
unbelievably
say?
off the chart.
I think he said the mansion for that movie.
Hmm.
They built it. Like they built a
Yep,
real mansion set
that's
in
what
the
they
middle
did.
of bumfuck nowhere.
Even in
Just to
Frankenstein,
keep it
they're
real.
out. That's on a boat. Like it's
Yeah,
actually a boat set and everything. They
yeah,
do everything all practical wise. It
yeah.
looks
Guillermo del Toro,
it's
like
always stunning.
visually, nobody can top Del Toro at all. I think he's the best visual storyteller we've had in decades, probably ever today, especially in modern Hollywood and all that stuff. Visually, a
Hmm.
masterpiece. Like, oh man, I already know it's gonna be good. Like visually stunning. Yeah, I'm already
It's
excited
it's
for it.
it's something to look forward to because there's been very little I've been looking forward to over the last few years. Like not a
Yeah.
lot has come out where I've seen a trailer and stood up and went, oh, this looks good, you know.
Mhm.
But that's basically the rant. Yeah, that's why it's all turned to crap lately, and hopefully we'll turn a corner. I would like to turn a corner.
Yeah.
The millennials have lost it. We plant our hopes on Gen Z and Gen Alpha. You guys need to like fix this because our artistry has vanished.
Yeah.
It got destroyed with the quick fix, make a instant buck scenario.
I've
You
been
know.
going back because I guess it's Halloween. It's a weird yearly loop with me. I'm on my Elric reread and replaying Legacy of Kain and stuff, of course, and Deadhaus and
Mm,
stuff. And I've been going back and like looking up production hell stuff, things that never got made
mm.
because the time period like just wouldn't have been right, or it would have something with money. It's always something with money of why these projects never really come to
It's
fruition.
money, and then there's times when you get like big studios, massive studios, and all like
Yeah,
that. It's like,
yeah,
okay, we have 6 projects. Yeah, well, we can only afford 3, so pick 3 to
exactly.
go in the
Like
bin.
there is there is a canceled animated film that I was really excited for when I found out it was a thing. Only it was 40 years ago, and it never materialized because it was too wide of a scope of a project.
Which,
Right? There was going to be an Elric animated film back in the
wow,
70s when he was like super popular. Michael Moorcock, the author, signed off on it. He was like, "Yeah, sure, go for it. Go gung ho. You do you. I'll sit back, and if you want to ask me questions, I'll help and I'll help." Right? It didn't materialize because one, no studio believed the project would work, and two, the budget for it would have just skyrocketed into oblivion, and nothing. It would have probably fallen flat anyway. Right?
I don't think they would have ever been able to do that justice because that would have
Exactly.
been even more of a grand scale than Lord of the Rings to get that done
Exactly.
correctly.
Yeah. Like, imagine the Lord of the Rings Bakshi movies, right?
Hmm.
But animated like Akira and, I don't know. Longer or shorter, but more detailed, if that makes sense, right?
Mm.
I had a point, but I lost it. Son of a gun.
That it got cancelled because of the scope.
Yeah, the scope. There we go. Like production value. There we go. Like production values are just so big. Now I remember now. The new Tron that came out, Tron Ares, right?
Apparently, it has failed spectacularly.
I don't know. I don't know about that. I'm excited for it. I haven't seen it yet. We'll talk about that
Mhm.
at some other point.
That's during the next episode. Go.
Yes. So the reason Tron Legacy came out and then we never saw a third Tron movie for 15 years until now is because John Carter of Mars came out roughly around the same time. And unlike Tron Legacy, John Carter spectacularly failed. So with the new Tron 3 in the pipeline, Disney saw the failure of John Carter and then immediately went, well, that movie failed. So that means anything else we put up will fail too. So they canceled it. That's why, because of the ballooning of scopes. And I think that's the exact same thing as too large of a production value. Whatever. Like, I don't think you need a large production value to make something good. You can do it with pennies, man. You
I
can do it with
think
pennies.
that they shouldn't do Elric as a movie. I
No,
think
it should be a TV series.
Elric
Hands
needs
down.
to be a TV series, and you could literally go through the ages of the different types of Elric with the different seasons.
Yes, that's my thinking too. Yeah, I had
Because,
that
like,
thought as well.
if you had Supernatural go on for as long as it did, the way that it did, you could do that with Elric.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And like I think the best part about Elric is that there's so much material out there. You could adapt the books, sure, but you could even take all the short stories written by other authors or comics written by other people and just use those as well. And it could go on
Hmm.
forever, you know?
Like,
It's like The Witcher. The Witcher
just
was
the books.
primed to be a fantastic fucking series, but you had
Oh,
people biting off more than they could chew.
I'm really, really excited for the new Witcher. Not the series, the TV show. I got the new book.
Yeah, I'm
The
waiting. I'm
one from
waiting. I'm doing a
Sapkowski.
reread right now of The Witcher before I dive into the new book. I kind of want to finish the series again before I read the new one.
Do you want to know what it's about? Do you know what
It's
it's about?
it's young Geralt, right? He's
It's
fresh
it's
out of
kind of
school.
it's kind of like Geralt on his first day as a Witcher, as a big grown-up Witcher, where he leaves.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, more.
that's fantastic.
It's kind of that one because. And again, they will argue, but you can find the things of Sapkowski. He's not a big fan of video games. He's nothing against CD Projekt Red. He's a boomer. He doesn't get video games, right? But
Yeah, he
he's
does.
like, I can't really do any further with Geralt because like it's been done. As in the games are done. Like the games kind of took off, even though they're not officially canon. He kind of in his head, he's like, well, they done it. It's done. Let's finish.
Yeah.
So let's go back a bit because there's 80 years of blank story. People keep forgetting that. There's 80 years unaccounted for Geralt.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He could, if he wanted to, he could crap out Witcher prequel novels for the rest of his life until he hits like 100. You know.
Yep.
He could, and apparently it's good. I haven't obviously read it yet, but compared to the last Witcher novel he wrote, which was a Geralt Dandelion adventure
Yeah.
for 300 pages or something, which I guess everyone hates. I haven't read that one yet either.
Dude, even the comics are
it's
actually
better.
pretty good. I have all the comics.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They're really good.
Dude. Have you read Witcher? Did I send you Witcher Ronin? Have you read that?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm still waiting for volume 2, and it's been 3 years already. Come on, man, give me more Geralt in fantasy Japan, dude. Give me more of that.
As Tim said here, I can proudly say I haven't watched a single episode of The Witcher. And as a huge Witcher fan, I can tell you, you've missed absolutely nothing. Do you know something? If you really want to enjoy The Witcher, there's a sale out on Steam right now. It's probably like $8. You get that. You get The Witcher 3. You get Hearts of Stone. You get Blood and Wine. That's about 280 hours of better story than you will ever experience watching anything in the TV show. And I just want to shout out on this one, by the way. No shade on Hemsworth. I hope the guy got paid a good paycheck for
absolutely.
this. Because like it's going to be terrible, but no shade on him. He probably was really excited and thought this was a cool opportunity and all like that. And again, don't shade on actors, voice actors, any of these guys. Sometimes you just need the paycheck.
I think I think Hemsworth controversial as this is going to sound, I think Baby Hemsworth is a good casting choice for Geralt if he were playing a younger Geralt.
If they didn't have Henry before it, because like, how
Like,
are you going to come
no,
in
I
after
think
that? You know?
imagine we got the Witcher series in an alternate universe, right? In our own multiverse, right? Imagine that, where the first season is young Geralt, fresh out of Witcher school, right? From this like new book, let's say, that just came out. They just use that, and it's young Hemsworth. Okay, we then fast forward with like season 2 and 3 at least, where you get Henry Cavill as the older Geralt. I think that would have been just fine. Unfortunately, you've already had rugged, gritty Henry Cavill as old Geralt, and now we have Chris, baby Hemsworth, as
Liam,
Geralt
yeah,
playing the
Liam
same
Hemsworth.
Liam playing the same Geralt, but he's younger, or at least looks younger, significantly
Look,
than
let
Henry
me put it
Cavill.
to you this way: can't trust it. The writers for the Netflix show have proven that they don't care about The Witcher, they don't care
Oh,
about the
absolutely
characters, they
not.
don't care about the lore, the world, or the fans. I wouldn't trust it unless it was taken from Netflix, given to an independent studio, made in Poland by the Polish. We can throw an English cast, but I mean,
Yeah.
written, produced, and all like that by the Polish in Poland, because they actually have respect for their own stuff. Maybe because there was an old TV series called The Hexer, which was
Yes.
officially not The Witcher, but it was The Witcher, and that was a lot better. That was keep in mind, guys. This would have been, if anyone wants to go, you can actually find episodes on YouTube. Think of like Hercules or Xena. It was one
Yeah.
of those shows, you know,
Yeah,
and that was really cool.
it even came out in the '90s, I think, too, or at least it was filmed in the '90s and then came out in like 2000 or something.
Yeah, like there's no
Or
way
was
they
on
wouldn't have done
Polish TV in the '90s or whatever. But like the fact that that is uh closer, I'd say closer, which it really is actually closer to the books than the Netflix series is beyond my understanding. You know,
it.
they managed to focus on Geralt as the lead character. Each episode is one of the stories adapted from the first 2 books.
Yep.
And it's about an hour long for each episode, and it's good. It's weirdly
They
good.
were kind of
Is it
monster the
cheeseball as hell?
yeah,
Absolutely, but
They
it's
were kind
still
of
good.
they were kind of monster of the week stories, you know, kind of
Yeah,
easy wrapped up in
exactly.
one go. I have to laugh. 10 here says, what a Herculean challenge or Sisyphus challenge? I mean Sisyphean challenge. The
Yeah.
difference is Herculean challenge, it seems impossible but can be done. Sisyphean challenge is impossible and pointless.
Yes.
So there you go. Whatever way that. I watched both Hercules and Xena Warrior Princess. Both were good shows. And
Yes.
was it? Of
I
course,
think
they cared about The Witcher as much as you care about something you spoil intentionally and turn into a sacrilegious excuse of a work of art. True.
yes. I think if The Witcher Netflix set itself up for being Hercules and Xena for Netflix, instead of setting itself up to be the next Game of Thrones because everyone was chasing after Game of Thrones success,
You know
it
that
may
story. If
have
you're
it may have had less of a backlash. People are expecting the Netflix version of Game of Thrones. Oh man, what are they going to do? It's going to be great. It's Netflix. They have the biggest budget on the planet. Yada yada yada.
when you're
Instead,
chasing trends, you're always chasing someone else's dream and you'll never
yeah,
accomplish it. You have to set your own series. That was the
yeah,
biggest problem with all like that. They completely misunderstood absolutely everything about. And we're talking about The Witcher at the moment, but you can easily put exactly what we're
oh yeah.
saying
You can
on
take this
Rings of
for anything,
Power, on
anything.
so many of these shows and movies that have happened lately. And it's just criminal. It's criminal that like they don't do this. Like the whole point with the Anne Rice thing as well. I'm fully convinced, and I'm going to start looking into this on a serious level because I'm convinced that was not written as an Anne Rice story. I think this was a different story about vampires set in that time in New
And then they
Orleans.
got the property and moved things
Yeah,
around for the
they're
property.
like, you know, the same way as there was a certain game called Shifter, and it was a really cool
Yes,
story about angels and demons and about like transitioning between realms and yada yada. And they're like, we'll make this into someone else's game. And
I still
you
want
know,
to see that
stupid.
version of it. You know, I would
Hmm.
because like the art, the concept art that keeps spontaneously showing up from that project, even though it was only 3 months into development, um, is actually insanely good. Like imagine Soul Reaver, but more steampunk, and more alien and more Geiger-esque.
It had its
Like,
own beautiful like art style. Some of it
oh
ended
yeah,
up in Soul Reaver, but you can see where it was going. It was very
yeah,
kind of alien, but also angelic
yeah. And I mean,
and
not to describe,
demonic,
like,
you know.
I think Amy's a fine writer. I don't know why everyone thinks I don't get it. I think Amy's just fine, but I would like to see what her original vision was. You know, what that original team's vision was, and not when they shifted it around, no pun intended, to be part of Legacy of Kain. You know,
Hmm.
like in an alternate universe,
Well, if you want to see what Amy does when she's left to her own devices and given freedom, you know, look at Uncharted and stuff.
which is fine. I think
You
the
know,
Uncharted trilogy is great.
yeah, they're
I
not
think what
that.
she did
They're
with
not,
I think
you
what she
know,
did with Jack and Daxter is pretty good too. Yeah, you know, yeah, she was a part of Jack and Daxter too, which I think is cool.
like
But then
that's
it
where
turned
that
into
is.
weird time travel
Amy,
shit, like always.
but again, Amy has her own style of storytelling. It's I believe it was quoted to me as Aristotle's three-act
Oh
narrative, you
yeah,
know, the thing
yeah,
like that, which is fine. That's its
no,
own
yeah,
style. That's
yeah,
perfectly fine. It's just it's very difficult to take certain things and kind of make shoehorn into that. Oh, we've got
yeah.
a question for you.
Okay.
Calypso, did you watch Nosferatu? I'm
Yes,
assuming it's the new
the
one.
Robert Eggers movie Nosferatu. Yes,
Yes.
and I loved it. I loved every minute of that movie. I loved the ending. I loved that. That is a perfect, like, if you're gonna remake something for the fourth time or whatever, I think that's a perfect remake, redo, retelling of that story. I think Robert Eggers so far could do no wrong as a director. Um, I think all the acting was fine. Yeah, I that movie deserves awards in my opinion. Yeah, Oscar worthy
I
film for me.
I've only one problem with it, and it's going to take a while to get ironed out. I need to see the director's cut
Yeah,
because
there's
apparently
I think
there's
he
like
added
a
like
like nearly
30
an
minutes or something.
yeah, there's like the bones of an hour extra on that movie. I'm like, I need to see that before I give judgment.
Yeah,
Because when we walked out of the cinema when I seen it, everyone loved it. I didn't. And I had to think
really.
about it. I had to go and think about it. I'm like, mm, okay, I have to divorce it from Dracula in my mind and only compare it to the previous Nosferatu. Because as someone who's so entrenched in vampire lore, media, history, and stuff like that, and all, it's like I watched it wrong, is the only way I can describe it as. I was judging it harshly in the wrong directions because of like Stoker's stuff being more in public domain and stuff like that. They actually
Yeah,
had more freedom to screw with
yeah,
it, where the original guys that done Nosferatu couldn't because they were actually had their hands bound by Stoker's estate. And that's why
yes,
it's Count Orlok and yada
yeah,
yada and all like that. So they could do that. But the other side is like this story beats. This is why I need to see the uncut version. There's parts of that movie that dragged on way too long, and there's other parts where they zipped past too fast. And I'm like,
yeah,
I feel that this was a bad edit. I need to see the full version, the way the director envisioned, because I have a feeling I like it more because it looks stunning. It looks
oh yeah,
absolutely stunning. But
yeah,
there's like the pacing on some of it's a bit weird for me
yeah. I feel
after thinking
it should
about
be
it
one of
and
those.
going through it
It
again.
should have been a longer movie, as weird as that sounds. And they should have done that thing where you watch an hour and a half and then you get an intermission,
Hmm.
you know, and
Do
then
we not
you
do that
literally get an intermission
anymore?
like old movies,
I
and then
remember
you get
movies
10
having
minutes and then you go
intermission.
pee and blah blah.
I remember
Yeah,
movies having intermissions, but I don't think I've seen one in like 20 years that has had an intermission. I
yeah,
think the
no, I
last
haven't
one was
either.
like one of the Batman movies. One of Nolan's Batman movies, I think, was the last movie I seen with an intermission in it.
Hmm,
I think it was actually Batman Begins.
maybe,
It was one of them.
maybe.
It was a long time ago.
There is.
Yeah, well, I think everyone was, unfortunately, less of the teeth and more of the pelvis. That was literally done for shits and giggles. I promise you. I know the way
Oh yeah,
prosthetic people work,
absolutely. Like
special effects guys.
yeah, absolutely, yeah. Like, but I
Uh,
mean, that's the thing. I commend Nosferatu for being fully committed to adult, like being an adult themed film.
Yes.
Like
Well, as it
full,
should be. As it
literally
should have.
full balls to the wall. Like I commend that movie for, yeah.
Like, where else would you go with it? There's too many things about this whole Disneyfication of stuff about trying to make it accessible to the whole audiences and stuff like that. No, it's okay to have things that are just 18s.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
Like not
okay.
everything is for everyone. That's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Not everything for everyone. That's not a bad thing.
Make more
Right.
things for many different people rather than having to focus all the budget and money on one big blockbuster that appeals to everyone. Because again, when you appeal to everyone, you appeal to no one.
Yes. I think before we wrap this up, I think genre talk is important. Oh, what's that say? Go ahead, read it.
Spoiler, in Romania, we do wear underwear.
I think when it comes to genre talk, the reason movies and TV and media in general has felt so disconnected, I think, is because one, everything is for everyone, thus making it for no one.
Yeah.
And two is that there's no real genre commitment to you as the watcher. Like I love slow burn horror movies, psychological horror movies,
Yes.
like mystery films, stuff like that. I love that kind of stuff. I fully am aware that not everybody will like the first Blade Runner film because it's a slow burn, sort of meticulously detailed mystery film. I understand
Yeah.
that's not for everybody, but that's perfectly okay because somebody can watch it, realize that they like that kind of genre, that's sort of the way that movie is made and everything, and then go discover more things like Blade Runner, slow burn mysteries, or whatever the hell else you have,
Hmm.
right? Nowadays, we don't have that anymore. Everything is fast paced, soulless, quick, whatever it is. Nosferatu is a perfect slow burn horror film. That's not for everybody, but it is fully with conviction that it wears what it is on its sleeve, and we need more of that in media. Same thing for video games. I love me some open world video games, but we need more 5 hour long action games where I can just cut some dudes up and call it a day at the end.
My personal favorite to that is side-scrolling beat-em-ups.
Yes,
Ninja
yes,
Turtles,
yes.
a Power Rangers game. I'm looking forward to the new Marvel one. There's a Toxic Avengers one coming out. It's going to be
Oh, sweet! I
hilarious.
didn't know that. I didn't know that. That's cool.
Those arcadey side-scrolling beat 'em ups that you don't need to worry about story, and you'll finish them in like 3 hours, 4
Oh
hours.
yeah.
But it's about
Oh
replaying
yeah.
it. It's
The
going to
new
those games.
Shinobi. Have you played the new Shinobi yet? Shadow of
Not yet.
Vengeance or something?
Downloaded it, but haven't
Oh,
played
dude,
it. But again,
it's so solid. It's smooth, dude. It's so
these
smooth.
games are about sitting on the couch with your buddies and just like talking crap and beating the crap out of guys and stuff. That's
Yeah.
the whole genre like scenario. There needs to be things for everyone. The same ways you've got those serious long burn horror movies for the some guys. Like I like all genres of most genres of the horror.
Yeah.
So you've got that, and then on the other hand, you've got Killer Clowns from Outer Space, which is
Yes, a classic.
schlocky
A modern
crap.
classic.
You need both of those and the in-betweens of everything from Friday the 13th to Gremlins, to all of that kind of stuff,
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
all of this one. And wow, did we get sidetracked a ways on this one, Calypso?
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I was planning on talking about asking like, what's everyone's favorite moments from all the seasons, yada yada yada. Let's wrap this up completely, but yeah.
We're going to do that because we're going to try now over the next couple of weeks for the next couple of episodes. We're going to have a few guests on or back. We'll see. Surprise wise. And with that, I think that's going to be a key question. We're going to ask each one of them what their favorite part from all the series was and all like that. And we get everyone in. And who knows, maybe we'll even do a little community stream where, I don't know, we might get Tem or Varric or anyone else that is willing to jump on camera to jump on with us. And we can have a chat and discussion about what we've gone through now from the whole thing. Because this is the first full seasons. This is all done now. The next part is the game. And then we're going to be getting more radio plays, more chronicles, but I think there might be a different direction for that. But next comes the game. That's going to be the fun part. And yeah, I think we can safely wrap it up there, Calypso.
Yep, I think so. So with all of that said, thanks for watching, everybody. You can check us all out on the social medias down below. comments. Oh,
And I was
favorite
smart. I was
things,
smart
episodes.
enough to keep our ticker up the entire episode this time.
Nice. Can't never go wrong with that. But with all that said, guys, I've been Calypso, Faceless Mike.
I've been Faceless Mike, and we will catch you on the next one, guys. See ya.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Much appreciation from us, yes, for listening to Deadhaus Whispers.
Ah, yes. Thank you for listening to Deadhaus Whispers with Faceless Mike and Calypso. They're lovely people. Don't forget to like and subscribe, or I'll find you.
Hello, fellow fans of Deadhaus. Follow Deadhaus Whispers, or else.
From the creator of Legacy of Kain and Eternal Darkness, Deadhaus Sonata is a narrative-driven action RPG in which you take the role of the undead and fight against the living. Visit us at www.deadhaussonata.com for updates on development. That's Deadhaus Sonata.com.